So this is going to be a quick video to introduce people to goal-driven design, which is a technique used in usability design, and is a way of thinking about how to build systems to make them easy to use and usable. Using the example of Warhammer 40,000. So what is goal-driven design? It involves thinking about what the user is actually trying to achieve and what motivates them, rather than thinking about sort of individual tasks. Importantly, actually finding out what a user's goals are can be pretty difficult, and it normally takes about at least some amount of research on its own. So a perfect example of this, where this research is being carried out, is with Google Maps. So Google, when it first launched Google Maps, its idea was that the goal of users would be to navigate between places. But obviously, they at some point discovered that the goal of users was to find places, like places to eat and stuff, and they made changes to accomplish that goal. But that took a lot of research to find, I imagine. Fortunately, it's a lot easier to figure out what at least some of the user's goals are for games, because at the very least you know the player has the goal of playing the game, right? Here they want to play the game, they don't want stuff to get in the way of that or feel like it's getting in the way of that. So for a good example of how this produces good design, let's look at two different editions of the Warhammer 40,000 rules. Warhammer 40,000, if you're not familiar with it, it's a tabletop war game. Basically, I have a bunch of models with some rules, you have a bunch of models with some rules, we roll a bunch of dice and see who wins. You don't need to know about how it functions for this video, except that each model will have some stats that affect the results of the dice rolls, and have actions they can take. So I'm going to take you through performing a shooting attack, which is a thing you do in this game, with the same model first in 7th edition of the rules, and then the newer 8th edition of the rules. So this is the same game, but it's two different versions of its rules, the 8th edition being the newer one. So first we need to think about, what's my goal in doing this? Well, it's to know what dice I need to roll and what that result means. So basically, am I winning, am I doing well, am I not? So let's look at 7th edition. Here are the steps. First, take a stat from my units from the book, the unit's ballistic skill. Subtract it from 7. That's the number I need to roll above. Why is this doing this? That's interesting. Then I need to, subtract from 7. Then I need to check any special rules on the model I have. Where are those? Well, the names are on the model sheet, but where are the actual rules? Step 4, finding the special rules. Special rules are in one of two places. Either it'll be in the book I'm already holding. If not, then it will be in the main rule book, not quite at the back of it, but there's a larger list of them. Then repeat steps 4 and 5 for any special rules my opponent has that might be relevant. Then applying those all to the result I got from earlier, and I know if I've hit or not with the shooting attack. So that's 7 steps long, 7 sort of tasks in doing this. Right, now let's look at 8th edition. I look at my unit's ballistic skill. Oh look, it just tells me what number I need to roll above. Then checking special rules. Where are they? Oh, they're on the same page I'm already looking at, listed under the model's name. There are some exceptions to this, but at worst, they will be in the same book. Applying the special rules we found, and done. 3 steps, goal achieved. Now, the important thing to notice here is that decisions that seem sensible, but not through the lens of goal-driven design, have negatively affected the usability of 7th edition. So, having all the special rules in one place seems to make sense, because it's just the one place you go to reference them, you access them quickly, you can look through them all quickly. However, it doesn't line up with the user's actual goals, because it's very rare during a game that somebody is having to it wants to look through all of them, right? They just want the ones that are relevant right now. Importantly, you'll notice there I've made an assumption about the user's goals. Why am I doing that? It occasionally hop back a slide. Poor usability here, because I've got no idea why it's doing that. But anyway, I hope this quick introduction to goal-driven design was helpful. Subscribe if you're interested in this kind of thing. This channel is going to be covering games user research topics and usability approaches. We'll probably cover heuristics next time, and then maybe get onto games user research topics, although they'll take a lot longer as videos. They should have a lot of academic sources if you're interested in actually doing the reading. Whereas this is just a general, widely used technique. So yeah. Oh, also, I'm not even going to talk about the usability of Horus Heresy, which is the expanded rule set of 7th edition that me and my friends found needs an entire extra person to search the rulebooks for you to find the rules you need.